folk YouTube. It's me, it's your favourite Steve. How you doing? It is the 23rd of January. Sorry, there's a little cat coming round. How you doing? It's been a while. I shouldn't have left you. I had a doubt beat step two. Shout out to Malia. Yeah, how you doing? I haven't done a video like this for a long ass time. It's got to be close to a year since I haven't put a video out. I haven't looked on what the last date was. But yeah, those things. I'm still alive. I am still reselling, just about. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't really been in the mood to do a video in this time last year. Yeah, I don't know, I just kind of had a few things going on and I couldn't be bothered to do any videos. I think what it was, there was a multiple of stresses going on and I thought, what's the one thing that I can take away that stresses me out that I can easily take away and just kind of put it to one side, and it was YouTube. So, sorry, you lot suffered. So I understand. I've dipped my toe. I haven't even been part of. I haven't really got involved in lives or videos or anything. I haven't watched a reselling video probably close to over a year because I wasn't watching them at the time. But I kind of dipped my toe back in the last in January. I think you need me back, guys. I really do. Dip my toe back in. Some dramas going on. So I think I thought I'm gonna come back for you, the people, the little people out there behind the phone. That's what I thought. I thought I'd come back for you. Well, I won't just do this one video and then you might see me for a year. But anyway, what should we talk about? Life-wise, what's been going on the last year? I've got a new cat. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen the new cat. Got her in I think it was August. Her name's Star. I don't like the name. It was a name in the rescue, and Lacey wanted to stick with the name Star. But she's the loveliest little cat. Don't be wrong, I love my original, the OG cats, that's what I call them. I love Rosie and Charlie, but Star is lovely. We ended up, this is what I mean about, we ended up with a drama with her when we got her. We got her from this rescue that my wife found on Facebook, which, again, we know now we won't go down that route again. Because I reckon we'll end up with one more cat. I reckon we'll end up rolling it over at 4. I reckon that's what's going to happen. What was I saying? I'm chatting gibberish again. So yeah, we ended up getting this this kitten from this rescue, and they were saying that she wasn't eating or she wasn't getting any food, so they needed someone to take the kitten off her hands, blah blah. And I think it's 12 weeks they normally release the kittens. 12, yeah, I think it's 12. They told us she was 9, and when we went to go and pick her up, the person who had her, which was like a foster place, said she was only 7. So she only ended up being 7 weeks old, which I think that's why she's so lovable, because she's lovely. You could hold her here. She'd jump all over the place, but she's absolutely lovely. So yeah, we think that's why it is. But it ended up being a thing of when we got her. Within the first couple of weeks of having her, we noticed she had patches of hair missing on her paw. And at first I thought, oh, maybe it's just something. Yeah, maybe it's just something to do with her hair or whatever. That was the way her hair was. Then we noticed hair was going missing at the back of her ear. My wife's had experience with cats before, and she's in touch with other kind of cat charities. She's a proper cat woman. and found out that it could be this thing called ringworm. So we had it checked, found out it was ringworm. What happens with ringworm is it gets in wood and it gets in stuff, you know, cloths and clothing. So we're like, shit, because of the other two cats. So we had to shut her away for ages. We ended up getting in touch with a charity who gave us like a big budgie cage. We had it in here for 3 months. So the first 3 months that we had her, she had to be in this big cage for 3 months, so she couldn't mix with the other cats while we gave her the medication. We had to put cream on her arm and everything every day. It was a bit of a nightmare. Felt so bad for her, but she didn't really, you know, to be fair, she didn't really know any difference. I think she was in a cage at the place when we got her. But now she's out. She's all better. The cats, luckily, the OG cats, Rosie and Charlie, they didn't get it. So yeah, but that's my story about my new cat. Next story. Yeah. Trying to think, like, what else is if you look there now, see that door there, we need to decorate because they just destroyed our house. We are in the midst of decorating. There's other parts of the house that we're decorating at the minute. If you see there, that door there didn't exist. So in the last year, we've had the extension added to the side of the house. Unfortunately, I can't fill it full of stock, which is absolute BS. You know what I mean? That's Liam's bedroom now. So Liam's bedroom's still there. I will do a separate video on the extension. At the minute, I'm not going to do it. His bedroom's a mess anyway because it's Liam. But he's got a bathroom in there. We've got to get rid of some stuff. We've got to decorate. His bedroom looks fine. That's all painted. But, you know, there's stuff in his bathroom. We've got to get a skip. We've got to decorate. We've got to do all that. So I will do a separate video on the extension at some point. But it was a freaking nightmare. I'm very privileged that we got this extension. It didn't cost us anything. So I'm very privileged that we got the extension. But it was a freaking nightmare for 6 months. I'll go into it in another video. Yeah, me personally, I don't know. Last year, I think talking about me personally, I want to talk about me personally and eBay in the same kind of freaking, in the same breath. Is it breath? Could it be breath? I think it might be breath in the same breath. That makes sense. My eBay kind of tanked towards the end of the year. So I was doing all right. And then probably I got a bit blasé with it, especially when it come to the extension. We got the extension. The extension started in August, which was fine when it was outside. So if you remember my video, so where I'm sitting now, I'm sitting underneath my stairs. So where I used to film before is literally where that door is. So I used to sit there and do videos there. That's where the desk was originally. So through that door was our parking space and a bit of grass on the side. So you've been watching the videos before. I've done videos out there. So for the first, say, I'd say they started August, September, October, November, December. So I say the first 3 months they were outside. So that wasn't that bad. Yes, they were here. Yes, they had to come inside sometimes to check electrics and stuff like that. But they weren't. The last 2 months, they were in our house every day for 6 days a week for 6 weeks. It was a nightmare. I'll go into it in another video. But what was I saying now? Look, I've gone off on a freaking tangent. I can't remember. So yeah, for the first 4 months it was all right. It was a pain in the arse in some kind of circumstances when it comes to sourcing stuff, because they'd need me here on some days. I don't know how they would have done it if I would have been working like a 9-to-5 job. But then the last 2 months, as I said, they were in this house constantly, all the time. I couldn't source. We were literally moving our furniture every day, and then moving it kind of back in on the evening. Our kitchen was an absolute state. We couldn't use our kitchen. Upstairs was a state that to use upstairs. It was, a freaking nightmare. So me sourcing was kind of out of the question. But to be fair, I kind of got myself in a situation where I put, in those last 2 months, I put too much emphasis on me selling badges. I've been doing all right. I've been doing like probably 500, 600 pounds on sales with badges each month. So it's worth me doing it. But what happened is I kind of like went, oh, I can't go source it. It's a pain in the arse. This is all doing my head in. I'm just going to order badges, job lots of them, and I'm going to list them. And that's what I'm going to do. But what happened is that kind of chipped away at, say, my bulkier stock. So what happened is probably by the start of December, I had nothing. Well, I still had items, but I didn't have that many items that were over 10, 20 quid. So it just, I learned a lesson basically, is you need to feed the beast. You can't just be, I might have like over 2,000 listings, but a lot of them badges. And it kind of, in November and December, I got kind of a wake-up call where I went, oh, okay, I can't just rest on it. I can't just go, I don't need to source, I've got enough stock. Because it just didn't work. I'd got rid of, say, in October, because of Q4, all my good items were gone in October, and then I didn't source anything in November and December, so it just kind of snowballed. So by, I think it was in December, I think it was November and December, I did under £1,000, and I need minimal to hit £1,000 to pay bills. So I did under £1,000 in both those 2 months, because it just went to shiz. It proper did go to shiz. And to be fair, my mind wasn't with eBay. It was with the extension. I just wanted to get it done. I was having arguments with not with the actual builders. The builders who were doing the stuff were fine, but the organisers of it, as I said, I'll get into another video about it. But the organisers of it were just, and I understood we were getting it for free. I get it, but just the kind of upheaval, is it upheaval? I think it is. The upheaval that they gave out day to day was a nightmare, and I get it. We got it for nothing, and I'm very grateful. But my God, it was a pain in the. I think what I come to think here, and I said it to the guy, was if we were paying for this, there's no way they would have done it the way that they did it. They were still getting paid, but there's no way they would have done the extension the way they did the extension. It was just an absolute nightmare. Also, last year, I got myself in a bit of a tease last year. And it was a lot to do with why I stopped doing YouTube. I kind of shut myself off. I had a lot of social gatherings last year. Two main ones which really stressed me out and affected me all year. And I know it sounds daft, but it really affected me all year. It bothered me all year. Kind of stuff from when I don't know. Stuff I've in the last year I've got over it, I've got past it. But just these social things were I was anxious all year, worrying about, these things weren't until halfway through the year, and I was getting anxious about, in February, March, about these things coming up in, say, July, August, September. And I just got myself in a tease, and it really did affect my year. It's daft. I'd never let that happen again, but it really did affect me. I don't want to get into details just in case there's people that watch my videos, but people I've spoke to who watch my videos know about it. But there was just there was a couple of things that were coming up which I really, I'm since I've left my, you know, my old place of work, I am very much like a person who I do what I want to do. If you know what I mean, I don't. Since leaving there, I do what I want to do. I don't. Um, if there's something I don't want to do, I don't do it. You know what I mean? Because of having 11 years of going to a place that I really hated, um, I, I really do the minimal. But these things was things where it was like, I have to do these. As much as I don't want to do these things, I have to do these things this year. And it really affected me. It really affected me where I was like, just all year, dreading these social interactions, which sounds daft now when I look back at it. Also, what else? Yeah, Ebo, as I said, those last 2 months were shite. Those last 2 months really were pants. And it did make me think that I was going to go back to work. I was really thinking about going back to, which I'm still not running in January now. But I really did think about going back to work in January. We discussed it, talked about it, looked at money. Yeah, and I've kind of pulled back, had a look at it, and I'm kind of giving myself till April, I think, and I'm gonna look at it at April. With me now at the minute, I'm sourcing 6 times a month to kind of limit myself, and then we'll kind of get back into sourcing every other day or every 2 or 3 days. But I'm sourcing now 6 times a month to make sure I'm getting stock. I don't have any backlog. So here used to be where my backlog of stock is. I don't have any backlog of stock anymore. So everything is listed now. Well, everything is photographed. So straight away, everything is photographed. The day after I source it. So I'm sourcing it, photographing it, and it gets put in the loft or it gets put in the shed outside. So I haven't got anything. There's probably 1 or 2 things down here that I need to list. Yeah, just some, yeah. But anything that I'm sourcing from charity shops or whatever, I'm photographing straight up in the loft or in the shed. So we'll see come April. I kind of settled in January that I'm still in January, but at the start of January I was going to get a new job. If it wasn't for the wife, if it wasn't for Shell, I probably would have gone back to a 9 to 5 job by now, if I'm honest. Because of the end of last year, I just felt like I had, not even a word, by last year, by letting like a social interaction get in my way, you know what I mean? Like I peed around most of the year. Like with car boots, I'd been going to Thursday car boots during the week, but the Sunday car boots, I probably could count on one hand how many car boots I went to on a Sunday the whole year. I kind of got with the extension. I think it was a multitude of stuff. We had the extension. We were sleeping. Me and the wife had been sleeping on the living room floor for a year. We worked it out. It was about a year. We did it in January. And when the room's done, we've now moved Liam in and we've got a bedroom again with a bed. So we've been sleeping. We were sleeping on the living room floor for a year. So that was pretty stressful because we wanted the kids to have their own space. Lacey's growing up. So like that. So these social interactions that were happening that I didn't have to go to, but I felt I had to go to. Really affected my year. So that affected my year. The stress of the extension, getting it started, getting it done. Just a few things I let affect me last year, and I went, you douche, you let these affect you, you let them affect you're doing eBay. And I thought I need to be going back to work and getting myself back into a situation where I've got enough money to do eBay. But after speaking to the wife, I really do think if I had a way of probably doing a 9 to 5 job where I had the freedom to say I think I'd be alright working at a school. So say I had the term times off, I'd probably go back to work, to be fair. That's what stops me. What stops me is the freedom. It's having the freedom to go, the stuff like I get to do with the kids, to do with their schools, or picking them up from school, or in the half term or the 6 weeks. It's having that freedom, and that's the only thing that stops me from going sod it, let's go and get a job, a proper job. It's the only thing that stops me. But yeah, we're giving it till April. We'll see what happens. January so far with me having my head down, and I am still listing badges, but not having badges as my main. It's like do charity shop stuff first, and then badges come after. So, and that's what happened in the last 2 months last year. It was badges. That's all I was listing. I wasn't listing anything else. I wasn't sourcing anything because of the extension, and it just knocked my shop down pretty bad. I'm still obviously recovering now, but January hasn't been that bad to me. I'll need to hit a certain number in January, in February, and that's the way I'm looking at it. I need to hit a certain number. As long as I consistently hit those numbers, and I'll still keep growing and still keep going up. I can get back to where I need to be. But I am not too big or too, what's the word? I'm not too proud to go and get a job if I need to. But we'll see. Anyway, I've jabbered on for 20 minutes. I haven't done this for a while. Sorry if it's a bit incoherent. That's the word. Sorry if it's a bit incoherent. I'm not making a lot of sense. But yeah, I think I'm going to do another video later as well, which I'll schedule, of the weekend sales and what's going out. But we're going to get back into it, guys. We're going to get back into it. I'm going sourcing again. I'm going to get back into it. Back into the flow, guys. Yeah? Back into the flow. So this one's just me chatting shiz about where I've been. Sorry about the see that there? That's our side, right? That's our that's underneath our TV, so it's like a sideboard. That's the wife, that is. She's the messiest human being I've ever met in my life. Because what she does, she goes, what do I do? Oh, what do I do with this? Oh, I don't know what to do with this. I'll shove it on there. So I'm sorry, that's a mess there. Freaking woman. Oh, but wait a minute, it's been a year, innit? I don't know what offends people. Can I say woman these days? I don't know. Sorry if I offended. Anyway, sorry about jabbering on. For now, I ain't done this for a while. Let's blow the dust off. Peace out. Stay safe, that feels weird. Peace out. Stay safe, stay beautiful. And I'll see you in my next video.